Trey, you're front and center. Okay. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please. This is a public meeting of the Denham Springs City Council held December the 22nd, 2025, here in the courtroom of the municipal building at 116 North Range Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana. All notices have been posted, and the media has been notified as required by law. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Councilman Poole to lead us in the invocation and the pledge. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Father, we pause to give you thanks for this great community and for your blessings that you continue to pour out upon her. As we prepare to celebrate the arrival of your Son, Father, we just ask that your Spirit would be present in this meeting, in our hearts, in our lives, and certainly within this great community. So God, we love you as we give you thanks. We ask now that, again, you be present in this meeting, that we be submissive to your Lordship, and that all of our decisions may serve you. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Dugas. Here. Gilbert.
Here.
Lamb Williams. Here. Poole.
Here.
Wesley.
All right, just to let everybody know, we have Dennis Greer. His firemen have left him. But he has his brand new toy. Santa Claus brought him a brand new fire truck, and it is right outside the back door. So when the meeting ends this evening, we can all go out there and take a ride and throw candy and do all kind of good stuff. Is that right, Dennis? Okay. We're glad you could show up and share it with us. That's kind of how many miles you got right now?
It's actually got, I think it's around 2,000. We didn't put them on it.
They drove it down here.
You got down here, yes.
All right, very good. Okay, let's don't forget that we have a wonderful holiday coming up upon us, Christmas, and let's try not to forget the reason for the season. And New Year's is right around the corner as well, before our next meeting, as a matter of fact. And just as far as New Year's goes, please make sure everybody remains safe. Don't forget, we do have a fireworks ordinance here in the city of Denham Springs. I know Rodney is already making plans to make sure that we police the streets to watch out for illegal fireworks and that sort of thing.
Yes, sir. We got extra people be out for that.
Great, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna read one little notice real quick here before we get into the meat of the agenda today. So I want you to please note that the agenda that has Aldi's and Fiery Crab were accidentally transposed on the agenda only. Everything else was done correctly. So the paperwork that you're seeing is correct. The only thing that was transposed is on the item, and I'll read it correctly when we get to it. Or did you make it?
Yeah, it's corrected on their agenda.
Oh, okay, you already corrected theirs, okay, all right.
It's just the address.
That's the only thing, the numbers are transposed between Aldi's and Fiery Crab. Item 1, that's approve as published in the official journal minutes of the December 9th, 2025 City Council meeting. Motion by Amber Dugas.
Second.
Second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk, call for the vote, please.
Dugas. Yes. Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole.
Yes.
Item 2, hold a public hearing for an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990, as amended 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 200 from R1 residential to R2 residential of two-family duplex residences located in section 43 T6S-R3E GLD, City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, RZ-454, requested by Jose Montenegro, 123 Cockerham Road. So declare the public hearing open. And do we have anybody here to speak for?
We do.
Please come up and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Jessie Palacios, and it's on behalf of the 123 Cockerham property. I was the buyer's agent on the purchase of this property.
Okay.
And we came the past 2 hearing, and the final hearing was, we got approved, and then we were told that we had to come back and see what was the next step to move forward.
So you've been to planning and zoning twice,
That's
and you
correct.
have the approval.
From R1 to R2, we got the approval from last time that we came.
Okay, yeah, this is the final step right now. Rick, can you explain some?
I can. So what you're looking at is it, came to our attention, I think it was, during utilities transfer from the previous owner to the new owner. It was a property that was repaired, during a flood. A permit was pulled, but the only inspection I think that was done was a framing inspection. The rest of the work was done without any other inspections. And the previous owner is the one that created, they put in a wall, and created a duplex. So when the purchaser purchased the property, it was sold to them as a duplex, and that's the way that it was sold to them, under that assumption. The new owners didn't have any idea that it wasn't done legally until they came in to try to get it. So the first step that we had to make sure, first off, to find out if they wanted to pursue actually creating this thing, going through the process of turning it into a duplex. So rezoning the property, and then once the property is rezoned, going through, pulling permits to make the necessary changes for all of that. That was one of the hearings. It was the first hearing they came to. Zoning Commission wanted to make sure that they were well understanding of the road that was ahead of them. They came back to the next one. Yep, this is exactly what we want to do. Zoning Commission voted 4-1, I believe. There was just one nay on that. The rest of the commission members that were there, the other 4, voted to do the rezone. So once it gets rezoned, if it goes through here, the next step for them to do is to pull a permit, pull a scope of work, submit a scope of work of what needs to be done. We'll take a look at that. Probably a floor plan to make sure that we're all on the same page with how this thing's going to lay out. But it's not an overnight process,
Right.
but it certainly will be done right, and if it makes it from here.
You don't foresee a extensive amount of work, huh?
No, it's probably the worst thing that's going to have to happen is the wiring, right? Because we'll have to go through and make sure that they have 2 separate meters, that the panels are all separated, that it's on that side. There'll have to be a wall. We'll have to take a look at the way it's constructed to make sure that there's a 1-hour rated wall separating the two sides. But yeah, we'll take a look at it and see how best we can make it work.
Any comments around the 1-no vote, Rick, on that?
The no vote was, I wish he was here, it was Bill Lawson that had voted no on it. Just didn't want to see the property move from a single-family dwelling into a duplex. But none of the neighbors came out against, the other people that were advertised, and there was a sign that was force posted. So we went about everything that we needed to on it. It's immediately behind a C3. So the request is a rezone from an R1 to an R2 for the duplex. And I believe also the property was 2 separate lots, but the house was encroaching onto one of the other lots. So they went ahead and had it re-subdivided as well, consolidated into one lot.
Okay. Any other questions from council?
You don't have any problems with it being an R2?
If you're gonna put a duplex somewhere right behind
The convenience store, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's no other anything other than one in that vicinity?
correct.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Motion by Land Williams,
Second?
second by Poole. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Denham Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Item 3, approve an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990, as amended 101001 by added thereto paragraph 200 from R-1 residential to R2 residential of a 2-family duplex residence located in section 43 T6S-R3 EGLD City of Denham Springs, Louisiana Parish, Louisiana RZ-454, requested by Jose Montenegro, 123 Cochrane.
Motion to approve?
Motion by
Before we have a vote, I do want to say, just to Mr. Jose, like, I'm so sorry of
Yeah.
the headache he's gonna have to go through because he
Right.
bought property that was essentially
If we would
very
have known,
misguided.
honestly, from the beginning,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
we would have prevented it,
Definitely.
like, it's.
And I do kind of want to say too, I would normally not vote the way I plan to vote. But it is, if there's a place to have a duplex behind that C3 commercial. But I hate this.
I hate the whole process for him. I mean, you know, it's a good process,
Instead of we,
but
trust me, this
I
is
hate
like
that
the
he
third
has to
time that
go
we come
through
here, and
this.
it's like repeating over stuff, it gets hectic, plus all this stuff that he's gonna go after.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
it's already there, you know,
That's
he
right.
already has the loan, so
Yeah.
it's a 30 year, so. The only thing you can do is just try to make it right from this
Yeah.
time, so that way it could be addressed. the way
Well,
it
I
was
appreciate him
from the beginning.
trying to do
But
it,
thank
do it right instead of trying to
Thanks
just,
to all of
you know.
Exactly.
Thanks.
All right, so we have a motion from Lamb Williams,
I'll second.
second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Paul.
Yes. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good.
I agree with Lisa.
Okay, item 4, approve a request from,
Had
yeah,
spots on that back on the fence though.
you can read the names yourself. Ikea Tijana and Serena another Tijana, with AST Group LLC for Retailers Class AG, General Bar Alcohol Permit for the business located at 141 Aspen Square Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana. They're going to serve beer.
I'd like to,
That's the bingo hall.
Mm.
All paperwork's been submitted, meets all
So-
criteria.
What is it, Mayor?
It's the bingo hall, has been sold to a new owner,
Okay.
and they're going to, just sell beer.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Gilbert to approve, any seconds?
Second.
Second by Poole. Madam Clerk, would you call for the vote?
Dugas.
no,
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 5, approve a request from David Bean, Phil Beadle, and Heather Moore with Aldi, Retailers Class B High Retail Package Outlet Permit for the business located at 2356 South Range Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana.
to move to approve.
Motion by Dugas, second by Poole. Madam Clerk, call for the vote, please.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Paul.
Yes.
Item 6, approve a request for Exene XU, I don't know how to pronounce that, with Fiery Crab at 2701 LLC for a Retailers AG-General Bar Alcohol Permit for the business located at 2701 South Range Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dugas, second by Poole. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Paul.
Yes.
Item 7, discuss and take appropriate action authorizing Mayor Gerard Landry to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with Livingston Parish in relation to an expenditure of opiate litigation funds obtained by the parish to be used for opioid education and awareness. If you look in your packet, this is some grant money that came down from the feds, is that right, or from the state?
Yeah, the state and feds, I think it was state. But it was, litigation funds that were obtained, in a battle with the, big pharma, basically.
Okay.
Big pharma over the opioid crisis.
So this is an agreement between us and the parish for education and.
Yeah, so they got a lot of funds from the state, through the state, and they're working with local entities to try to distribute those funds to do these programs for education and training the public and, you know, kind of almost like a DARE program for the whole parish instead of just schools.
Good.
That's kind of what it's.
Attorney
that's the way
Blaine
it's built
Honeycutt,
to me.
Attorney Blaine Honeycutt actually worked on that case. I met with him before. He has a really good handle on what you can and can't use it for, so he'd be a good resource.
Good.
How much money is it?
Right now, for us, it's $50,000 for Denham Springs Police Department. And, I don't know the true amount. I've heard some numbers that the parish got or is getting, but I wouldn't want to speak on that, out of turn.
I'm not sure what the total amount is, but I know that there's a lot of stipulation on how it can be spent, how it has to be spent. And I know that it's been, this has been going on since back into Layton's administration. They didn't spend any of it. They're just now kind of getting their feet on the ground and spending some of it. So it's a sizable
It's a sizable amount.
piece of money that's sitting in there, so.
So this thing we're voting on is just a cooperative endeavor between the mayor to receive the 50,000 that our chief is gonna use for the purpose of opioid education.
That's right.
Well, is it just for the 50,000 or is it for
It's 50,000 right
the
now.
CEA that just allow you to
It'll cover anything that comes in the future, but it does
Okay.
have to be distributed according to what you're talking about, according to the settlement document. There's specific things that they would like to get the vehicles wrapped, with some type of opioid prevention. Like you see a DARE vehicle driving around, you know, to bring awareness, there'll be vehicles wrapped like that. There'll be, programs in the schools and just different things.
So our agreement is with the parish, but the parish received money from the state. That's my understanding.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Gilbert to approve, second by Williams. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Holt.
Yes. Item 8, to authorize surplus of a police department block and sell to the Denham Springs Police Union for a retired officer. We're going to see Captain Gillespie probably in the January meeting, but that's, he's going to retire after, was it 30,
A little over 30 years.
a little over 30 years?
That's incredible.
So we're
What a
able
loss.
to, we always have been able to provide a handgun for those folks. when they retire.
Absolutely.
So,
Motion to approve?
Second.
okay, it's going to be a motion by Dugas, second by Poole. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Holt.
Yes.
Item 9, approve amendment 2 in the task order for number 1 water system remodeling, increasing the total lump sum from $45,000 modified in amendment 1 to $52,000 requested by Fort Blotter.
Good evening,
Hello,
Mayor
Chad.
and Council. Merry Christmas to all of you.
Same to you,
Thank you.
same to you, sir.
Thanks for allowing us to work with the city, and we appreciate all the opportunities. I'm just glad Buffy put us before Trey, because
All of you will probably be going when Trey starts.
we still said all the audit findings are going to be against Fort Blotter or something like that.
Trey, we love you, brother.
This is something, we're pretty close to finishing out the water model on this agenda item, and we just need a few more dollars to wrap it up. We're gonna get some fire reads and fire flows to really calibrate it, so this is just the last bit to settle that up and get it to where you guys can use it on the fire side and for being on the water department, so I think that's what that means for.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Lamb Williams,
Second.
second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Holt.
Yes.
Item 10, approve task order number 4, Centerville Waterline Relocation Construction Administration, requested by Fort Blotter.
This is actually a precursor to the Centerville Road project we're doing, having to move the water line out the way, install some more drainage on the east side over here.
Okay.
This is just some construction administration to help administrate it. Proposals are being taken next week, I believe the 30th on that, so I think we got 3 or 4 contractors submitting on it, so we'll probably be coming back to you guys to get that approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gilbert, second by Dugas. Madam Clerk.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Holt.
Yes.
Item 10, approve task order number 4. Oh, that's what we just did. All right, never mind. Approve task order number 3, 2025 DHH water system grading report submitted, support requested by Fort Blotter.
Yeah, this last item, this is what Ben usually likes us to help the administrative part on his paperwork, and he goes submittal to DHH. So just, I think it's a $2,000 task order.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Lamb Williams,
Second.
second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk, call for the vote, please.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Holt.
Merry Christmas.
Said, you're welcome to stay, buddy.
I'll make sure he's not finding all on
Oh, Lord. So we have our friends with Heinous Tea Bourgeois with us this evening for us to approve the final order as presented. I guess Trey's gonna do it for us this evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Chad, if you stick around, you can play on the fire truck with us after. He can blow the horn.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Trey Sanders with Hannah Steve Bourgeois. We did the audit this year. I've got Luke Yost with me. He's the senior manager on the job. He's been working with you guys for a while now. And he's available if I can't answer a question. Luke knows it, so I know that. So I'm just going to go over a couple of reports with you right now. It has a draft on it. It's still kind of in our edit mode. Numbers are not going to change. There might be a little bit of a blur or edit or something like that. The numbers are pretty good. Once we get all of those edits through, we will give you guys a good clean probably next week, a good hard copy for you to keep. Be a little bit smaller than this, usually back in front on the mail copy. that stuff was good. We did have to do several of the steps of the agreed upon procedures this year. We didn't have to do all of them because it was a rotating 2-year cycle. We had a couple that you had an exception on last year that we had to do that whole section over. I think it was 3 sections we had to do this year. I'll briefly hit the highlights of that report also. But as I go through this again, if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'll try to answer them between Luke and I. Will get them answered. First one we'll go with is a little bit smaller report. It's a smaller round report here. It says reports and schedules on the front of it. Reports and schedules. This, I'll start to go through just a couple of pages with you. Start on page 1, it's because we did the auditing reports of government auditing standards. We're required to issue a report on your internal controls and compliance. The whole purpose of this report is to tell you the results of our test work. It's not to express an opinion on internal controls or compliance. On page 1 and 2, it's kind of what's telling you there. If you had anything that came to our attention on internal controls on page 2, top of that page, second to last sentence, we would have it addressed there, but nothing came to our attention. You'll see we didn't identify any deficiencies in internal controls that we needed to bring to your attention. The next paragraph talks about reports on compliance and other matters. That's the compliance with laws and regulations like bid laws, your board minutes, things like that. If anything came to our attention, we bring it to your attention there, and that's second paragraph, the last sentence, but nothing came to our attention, so there's no instance of non-compliance that we need to report to you guys. So I just point those things out to you in this report. I'm going to flip over to the next page on page 3, a couple pages back. You guys received this year, it's a little over, you'll see in just a second, it's a little over $6 million in federal money during the year. And because you received more than $750,000, you had to have what we call a single audit. And that's where we came in and we tested what we determined what was your major program for the year, the major federal program. And we tested the compliance requirements with it. And this report kind of tells you, we actually express an opinion here on page 3 on your compliance. On the major federal program that we tested this year, on page 3, second paragraph, had a clean opinion on it, unmodified. It says the compliance requirements referred to above, the city complied non-material specs. The compliance requirements referred to above that have a direct material effect on each of its federal programs the year ended June 30th, 2025. So that paragraph's the paragraph you're looking for in this report. Page 3 kind of talks about the basis for the opinions. We are required to be independent of you guys. Flipping over on to page 4, just kind of gets into our responsibilities on it. We also, in addition to that federal program, we look at your internal controls, which starts on the page 4 into page 5. And we're required to make sure your controls are working properly over that program. In the top of page 5, nothing came to our attention on the first paragraph, the second to last sentence. During audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control or compliance that we consider to be material weaknesses. So that y'all's programs operating properly, nothing came up we needed to address with you guys. In the bottom of page 5 is, I'm going to go over a schedule with you just a second. It lists your federal dollars that you received last year, and we do audit that, and we express what we call an in relation to opinion. And at the bottom of page 5, that last sentence, the last paragraph, it says, in our opinion, that schedule of expenditure of federal awards is fairly stated in all material respects in relation to the basic financial statements as a whole. So we do express an opinion on that. It's in relation to opinion. On page 6 is that schedule of federal awards. When we get over to the financial statements in just a minute, I'll show you some of the, or just talk about a few highlights. You guys had right at $6.9 million in federal money that you you received or were able to use last year. Y'all back during the flood, I know 10 years ago, y'all still getting some money from that, but that 10% where you kind of got hold on the dollars you spent on those federal FEMA grants, y'all are starting to receive some of that money, and y'all should receive about $545,000. That's the 10% where y'all initially paid up front. Y'all are getting that money back. That's the $545,000 at the top of the page. In the middle of the page, y'all received 3.6 about a year or two back, part of the ARPA funding that came out due to COVID. 3.6, we finally took it into income this year, and that 3.6 is right there. Y'all received that money, like I said, I think a couple of years ago, Michelle, and y'all been earning interest on it, but y'all just finally took it into income where you offset some expenses with it. And then the 2.2 million, I point out there in the middle of the page too, also kind of part of the coronavirus money, is some of that water sector funding that y'all are receiving on the
Brignac well.
Brignac well. It's $2.2 million. So really kind of bumped your federal dollars up, and you'll see that on your income statements a little bit where it helped your income for sure. I just wanted to point those out because they're big numbers. So, I flip back a couple of pages, and you'll see on page 9 and 10, if we did have any kind of issues, sometimes people only want to listen to the report, but they look on page 9 and 10, if there's any kind of control issues, compliance, it'll be right there. You know, on page 11 is going to go over that the legislative auditor statewide agreed upon procedures report. We did do, like I said, have to test 3 sections this year: written policies and procedures, collections, and I think credit cards. There's still a couple of issues on not the internal controls, but on the written policies and procedures. We've got a response from Michelle that's attached to the back of this report. The written policies and procedures are really a lot of best practices. Sometimes they don't even necessarily apply to the entity. And we just say if y'all have these procedures or not in place. Y'all do have a lot of procedures in place, but the way this report is done, and y'all probably heard me say this before, but there's a written procedure that we're supposed to do and check if it's there. And if it's not, we just have to tell you the results of it. And so there's a couple of policies that I know Michelle's working on, and y'all are taking some of them into consideration if you want to adopt them or not. So that's on the written policies, procedures. Again, if something was material in this area, we would have just addressed it in that internal controls and compliance report. This is kind of some best practices in some areas. So I just want to point that out, but y'all feel free to ask other questions once you read through it. But there's some findings on page 11 and 12 on the written policies and procedures. So y'all have written policies and procedures, your internal controls are working properly. If they weren't, we would address it already with you. So I just want to point that out too. On page 13 gets into the collections process. We come in and look at the collections, deposit sites y'all have, which y'all don't have a whole lot of deposit sites. Make sure there's some controls in place in that. And then also we select some deposits to look at and make sure all the support's there. On one of the procedures on page 14, we had just a matter of a stamp date on a check or something. Didn't say when you actually received it. So you're supposed to deposit it within 1 day or something like that. And so we couldn't verify it. It was deposited in what it's like it was an extended period of time. So we did deposit, y'all did deposit it. It appears to be timely, but we couldn't see that it was exactly deposited within 1 day to receipt. Not a huge issue, but again, the procedure asks us and tells us what we have to say, and that's why I'm reporting it to you. That's the top of page 14. So not a huge issue, but we're required to just kind of report on it. And then on page 14 also on credit cards, we came in and we looked at your credit cards and we made sure all the support and et cetera was with it. And one of the credit card statements we got it looked at had maybe some late fees or something on it. Not a huge deal, but we are required to report what we found during that test work. So. And then, like I said, Michelle has provided us a response to each one of those items. We'll start after page 15, and where she's addressed each one of those items. I'm not going to read through it, but it's available for you guys to read through. But not significant issues, kind of minor in the overall scope of things. Written policies, procedures, again, is really best practices, and some of the stuff you guys might not actually have, but they want you to have a policy on it. So, you have any questions on that? Yeah, nothing earth-shattering. Again, if it's something serious, we would have addressed it within the other reports and say, hey, we need to do something. This is a good document, very good document, but just want to point that out to you.
So some of the things that you question are procedures that we didn't do anything wrong, we just didn't have a policy that said we had to do it that way.
Yes, yeah, just tweaking the wording somewhat.
So is this something that's fairly new in government where we have to have policies regarding every single transaction? A written policy?
This is something legislative auditor came up with some best practices, and this is some things they think would help particular entities to help prevent anything from happening. Yeah. Any other questions? Or?
I don't see issue of the late credit card payment addressed in the response from the city. Am I missing that?
It's the very last page.
Yeah, it's on the last page, unless that page got enough. Yeah. I don't recall how much it was. I don't think it was like very much money, but it's just, we look to see if it's, has those fees on the statement.
Michelle, do you know how much it is? Off the top of your head? Okay.
No, it was either Walmart or the Capital One credit card, so it was standard $39 fee.
Yeah, it's just pretty small. Again, it's immaterial overall, but just the way the procedure's written,
All right.
the whole purpose of the report is, again, to kind of go over the procedures that we performed and results of those procedures. We're not expressing an opinion or anything on it. So.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions, or? Go ahead. You have more to go?
One big one. And I'm not gonna get too far into it with you guys. This will be up to you guys how far y'all wanna get into it. This is the annual comprehensive financial report. It's got a lot of information in here. You guys elect to go above and beyond the standard reporting that's required when you do an annual comprehensive financial report. As I mentioned earlier, I'll go over the audit opinion with you. It's a clean, unmodified opinion. There's nothing we needed to address in here. Y'all did adopt a new accounting standard. We're always throwing out new accounting standards. They have one this year for compensated absences. I'll briefly talk about that. It's kind of similar to your pension liability that you guys have. It's on your government-wide financial statements, but the financial statements you guys go over monthly or whatever, it's not on those financial statements. Compensated absences, anything from, some people call it PTO to sick leave, vacation, et cetera, like that. The old standard allowed you, or told you the only time you had to record that liability is if you had to pay it out. Well, they changed the standard probably a couple of years ago, and they gave us a couple of years to implement it. And now what they're saying on the compensated absences policy, some entities have these large sick leave balances that the employee doesn't get paid out for it, but they start accumulating it. And for you guys, I don't remember the balances, but they get pretty significant large. And what they want you to do is look and see if people are going to use it. If they're going to use it at some point, whether they can get paid for it or not, they can probably use some of it. They want you to accrue it. We've never had to accrue that before. When we accrued it this year, when Michelle came up with the numbers and stuff, it increased your liabilities by about $207,000, I think, overall between the utility fund and the general fund. When we look at the numbers in a minute, $200,000 seems like a lot of money, but it's not that significant overall. But we did have to do that adjustment in these financial statements, and we had to let the readers know that we picked up an additional liability of $200,000. And the way the reporting is done on it is you restate the beginning of the year balance as if it's already in effect at the beginning of the year. And then, so the current year change was pretty nominal. I don't think it was that much. So just want to point that out to you. You'll see that in the opinion paragraph in a minute. And I talk about it, I get into accounting speak sometimes, I say liabilities, assets, and stuff like that. Some people are like, what do you mean and all that? If I don't explain it properly, just let me know. We can dig into it a little bit more. You flip back a couple of pages here. We got some Roman numerals going at the very beginning. And because you do a comprehensive annual financial report or annual comprehensive financial report, Michelle put together what they call a transmittal letter. It starts on Roman numeral page 4. And she kind of gives the readers a little layout of the land of the city and what's been going on. So if you flip back to the transmittal letter, you will go, there's various information in here on elected officials, a bar chart. And on Roman numeral page 9, yeah, 11, sorry, 11. Because we go the extra mile in this, putting together this financial statement, you did submit it last year and you received the certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting. So that's kudos to Michelle. If you'll look on page 11, you'll see that little certificate in here. This tells you that the report's put together and it was scrutinized and you got a certificate of achievement of excellent financial reporting, so that's pretty good. The audit opinion starts on page 1, which is a couple of pages back. Again, I'm just going to get this opinion and then I'll see if you have any questions on anything else. It is a good, clean, unmodified opinion. You'll see that on page 1, the second paragraph. I'll read a little bit to you. It says, in our opinion, based on our audit report of other auditors, the accounting financial statements present fairly non-material specs, the respective financial position of governmental activities, business type activities, and aggregate discretely presenting component units. Each major fund and the aggregate remaining fund information in the city as of June 30th, 2025. In respect to changes in financial position and cash flows thereof, respective budgetary comparison of the general fund for the year in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. This is a annual comprehensive financial report. We roll in the marshal of the city court's financial statements in here. They're government-wide, they're included because they're part of their component unit of the city. We don't do that audit, so that's what that, when I said to other auditors, that's what this has been going on for several years. I just want to point that out to you. You question that a little bit, that's what that is. Page 1 kind of talks about we're required to be independent at the bottom of the page. Page 2 kind of talks about the very top of the page, talks about that change in accounting principle. We adopted compensated absences. Page 3, just point out a couple of things to you on page 3, budgetary information, supplementary information, top of the page. The MD&A, which I'll recommend you guys read, pages 6 through 19. And then there's some schedules on your pension plan, pages 108 through 115. We don't audit the MD&A, management discussion and analysis. We do tie the numbers back and forth. Same thing on those pension schedules. There is some supplementary information in here. It starts in the back. They got exhibits D1 to D5, the capital asset schedules, which are exhibits E3 to E1, E3, insurance in force schedule, and there's a schedule of justice system funding, schedule 4. We do audit that stuff, and at the bottom of that page there, the second to last paragraph says we issued what we call a clean or in relation to opinion that those financial statements, those schedules are fairly stated on material specs in relation to the basic financial statements as a whole. That's just some reassurance there on that. There are some statistical schedules at the very back of this report. There's about 24 schedules. It's all kind of financial information. It gives them demographics, property taxes, debt, things like that. That's additional information that's in the annual comprehensive financial report. We do not audit that, so I just want to point that out to you. It's noted down on the bottom of page 3 and page 4. I've done a lot of talking, but again, it's only unlike my opinion, good report. So I just want to point those things out. Some people, sometimes they want to know where things are at. I'm going to hit just a few highlights in the financial statements, and then guys, it's up to y'all if y'all want to ask anything else. Michelle did the MD&A. It starts on page 6. Instead of digging deep into these financial statements, your net position, that's your assets minus your liabilities. Y'all ended the year about $74 million. On your government-wide financial statements, that's when you take your general fund activities with the fire, police, just general services, and puts it in with the utility fund. Your, if you will, your income or net position increased about 14.3, I think 14.3, $14.7 million. So very strong year for the even the government-wide. When you get down into your fund financial statements, which you guys are receiving on a pretty much a monthly basis, your general fund is up about $6.5 million for the year, and your enterprise fund is up about 7.1. So again, very strong year. As I was pointing out to you a while ago on your general fund, that revenue, that federal dollars you receive, that ARPA money came in and is supplementing the money you already have there. So that $3.6 million really went straight to your bottom line. And in the water sector, and I said I talked about the community development block grant that y'all received about 145,000, I think. So stumbling a little bit. And overall, I like to look at where you had cash position, where you were this year and last year, and cash is up by those same numbers. So a lot of stuff went straight into cash. So.
Where do you see that number, Trey? I see the total net position numbers, but where do you see the cash on hand?
I took that and I added it myself.
Okay.
You can look back on the balance sheet on page 12, and that's not page 12, I'm sorry, it's on page 10.
Okay.
If you look on page 10, it's a condensed statement of net position. It doesn't show the cash broken out there, but in your current assets at the top, current assets and other assets, they're up from 37 million last year. If you look at far right, they're right at $43 million.
About 6 million different, right?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of that's cash is what I saw earlier. So, yep. So really a strong year. Had some kind of anomalies there with that money because we were able to take that in the income on the ARPA funds and then the other stuff. Like I said, it's been 10 years and you're finally getting the community development block grant money. So, but as they close, my understanding how it works is as they close out the FEMA projects, once they're finally closed, I think it takes a little time and then you'll get your 10%. I think that's kind of it. I'm not going to dig too far into it. I will tell you if you want to flip back to page 25 real quick, if you want to look at your general fund. A lot of times you'll look at the general fund, how it's doing. And again, it was a pretty good year. You'll see the general fund column, you're at 6.5 million change in fund balance. You had an increase of 6.5 million. Again, the revenues, we talked about the sales tax was up maybe just a little bit, it wasn't significant. The intergovernmental fund money coming in, the ARPA funds and stuff really supplemented everything pretty good there. Most expenses kind of stayed somewhat in check, but I didn't see anything too crazy out there. So you got that increase in revenue coming in, expenses kind of staying in check a little bit, so it goes straight to the bottom line. And that's kind of the same thing on the utility fund. If you flip back a couple of pages, it's more pages back. I'm probably digging too deep in what y'all want us to listen to. On page 39, it gets into the utility fund. If you want to look at the enterprise fund, that's your gas department, your water, sewer, and all that good stuff. And you'll see on page 39, the far right-hand column, second last column, beginning of the year, about 7.1 million change in that position. Kind of not a whole, it's what y'all been seeing throughout the year. I know this is almost 6 months old worth of information, but no real changes here from what y'all been kind of watching throughout the year. So, any specific questions y'all want to go further, or?
Think we're good?
Why is the court and the marshal, why do they use a different, is there a requirement that they use a different auditor? Or is it just personal choice?
It's just a personal choice.
Okay.
It's a personal choice.
We appreciate your hard work and your honesty and keeping us in check.
Definitely keep it in check.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, and again, it's a lot of work goes into this thing and put it together. It's a great document. And what we do for the certificate of achievement, Michelle will take it, she'll submit it to the GFOA, the National GFOA, and they go down and they break it apart, they pick it apart. And if they have any questions, I think we had one comment they sent back last year for us, but that's pretty good. It's 176 pages.
Exactly.
And then, we're here just kind of giving you a synopsis of the year, but throughout the year, it's what you guys are doing, and Michelle's doing, and everybody here is doing to keep everything straight. We're just kind of recapping for you. You guys are really doing a really good job. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Trey.
He didn't mention Fort Tablada not one time.
Probably a good thing.
The last little deal is this little letter here that it's like this. I'm not going to read it to you. Y'all can read it. But if we did have any issues throughout the audit process, it would be addressed in this letter. And we'd say, hey guys, you need to look at this. We had some issues, whether we couldn't get information from management, they weren't cooperative or something like that, or if we had adopted a new accounting standard that lets us know we needed to happen. Because throughout the audit process, we're working with Michelle, like we call it management, et cetera. We don't get to see you guys, but this where anything would come up, we'd address with you guys here. So, but if this is good, nothing here. So thank you all for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we need a motion to accept. Is that right?
So moved.
Motion by Poole, second by Dugas. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole.
Yes.
Motion by Lamb Williams to adjourn, second by Poole.
By Poole.
Dugas,
With an addendum to, eat
Gilbert,
fudge on the way home.
Yes, there you go.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole.
Check the fudge too.
All right, guys, thank y'all. Have a Merry Christmas. And don't forget to check out the new fire truck outside.
Right.
Might get a ride if you like it, huh?